LzHstoRy. He took the faraway third. I really like this. If we look at the pushing route that Rsvp needs to take, he is going to be pushing along this highway, right, the direct highway, because he can push so quickly into the Zerg front. You know, if he wanted to do anything about this expansion, he would have to traverse, you know, across the whole map, leaving himself very open to counterattacks, which Zerglings extremely good at counterattacks as well as speed roaches.
Yeah, definitely. That expansion is in the perfect location. Either there or the one right above it in the main would have been just fine. I agree with you completely. There's no chance that thing will die unless Zerg basically allows it to.
Yeah, I don't think that, you know, that is something that we're going to see. You know, we don't see any air units out, and we don't see Blink on the way either, so we don't really have any fast units that could quickly get down there, do a lot of damage, and then go back. It looks like Story, though, gearing up for maybe another push. Got a lot of Zerglings and some Roaches up at that high ground. We do see more Roaches, Corruptors, and Hydralisks or two in production. Probably going to wait for that +1 air attack to finish before he pushes.
Yeah, he's got a massive supply lead, 59 harvesters to 42 as well, so he's got an economic advantage, he's got an army advantage. I just wouldn't want to see him throw away these units here. I'd like to see him really be patient here. He knows he's got a lead. Picking off the Cyber Core, it's pretty smart, you know, stop some stock production.
Certainly is. Cyber Core does go down. Protoss staying back, not really responding. You know what? He's just going to go ahead and remake that Cyber Core in his main where it is safe. Adding on an additional gateway and getting another Colossus +1 almost finished for Protoss as well.
And he's in such a defensive position that I really think that our Zerg user should not engage this unless he knows he can absolutely win. Corruptors coming in from the side here. They may pick these Colossus off. Oh no, this could be bad.
It would be absolutely huge if he picks them off, but no, pulling back that gateway army, coming up in and getting a couple shots off on those Corruptors.
Yeah, that is a lot of cannons in the front. Obviously, the Zerg army could take them out by themselves, but with the help of some Stalkers and some Colossus, this could be actually a scary little thing here. We actually do have some units being poked in, baited in, I should say. Zerg is backing up now. I'd like to see him spread his creep a little bit more. It looks like he's doing that now. And just take a 4th or a 5th. I mean, might as well. You're so far ahead.
He certainly is, and he's actually doing a pretty good job spending all his money, staying very low in both minerals and gas, so doesn't quite have the economy to take that 4th or 5th yet. You know, he is sitting almost at 190 food. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, once Zerg gets max, they really only have the choice of attacking. And so I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a push forward. Those Colossus are going to get taken out. We're going to sack most of the army, and then we'll see, you know, Story remax on Roaches.
Time will tell. I think we're going to see it probably pretty quick here. We do have a little bit of a push out from our Protoss user, and this is now he is going to win, but Zerg is still flying around with these Corruptors. I'd like to see him do exactly what you just said, poke in there and just wipe those things out.
Certainly. I mean, it's really important as a Zerg player to keep that Colossus count low. Hold on, though. We are seeing a push forward. It looks like the Corruptors are going to come into the battle this time, and a flank from the back. Great move. One Colossus almost down. One Colossus down. Second Colossus down. And I don't think the other two Colossus are long for this world. Third down, fourth down. And a remask, if we look in the production tab, 9 Roaches in production. As he pulls back, he's eliminated the Colossus threat, and you know, is absolutely fine just pulling back, getting a bunch of Roaches, and then pushing again once he hits 200 food.
Yeah, this is a really difficult position for the Protoss user to be in. He has basically at this point cannot make any more Colossus. He's got to switch to something else. Going for Immortals now. And the first one is on its way out here in a couple seconds. I don't really feel like he has a chance unless something miraculous, some type of big mistake. I feel that LzHstoRy is just in such a commanding lead.
Certainly, I mean that spine crawler, you know, proxy spine crawler rush build that Nestea developed is specifically made to punish Forge first Protoss play. And unless the Protoss is scouting it and goes for a Stargate immediately after, you know, that Cyber Core goes down, they really just do not have any way to effectively deal with it. And that's exactly what we saw in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget, he actually nexus first. We have a little bit of a push out here. Disruptor's just going to one-shot this Colossus.
Yeah, certainly, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see, you know, a lot of this army go down, target firing that Immortal. I wish he'd stayed on a little bit longer, but it looks like Soul Goddess gonna go ahead and push down. He is aware of this third base up for the Protoss, knows that he needs to deny the third. You cannot let Protoss sit on 3 bases, because then they have the gas to afford that Colossus Void Ray Death Ball, which is so hard to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. He does get pushed back by only a couple of cannons. We do have the engagement here, and I think he's just going to walk right over this. He did get a lot of eruptions out on all those units. The Immortal's taking a lot of damage.
They certainly are, and more Corruptors coming in. Again, useless. There are, you know, what is that? You know, 16 of those out in that control group there. Again, pretty useless at this point in the game, and I think you know, Soul Goddess actually going to have to pull back, as there's a lot of cannons plus those 5 stalkers going to go ahead and repel that Roach number.
Yeah, and RSVP's done a pretty good job of sneaking that third up. This is a very tough map for Protoss to take 3 on. Their third's always difficult when Zerg plays well, especially when you're under that kind of early pressure that he was. So the fact that he's even managed to take this game to a third base is, you know, shows the level of player that he is. So
it certainly does, and it looks like we've got, oh my goodness, that is so many Broodlords in production, 8 Broodlords in production, and I think, you know,
Complexity sitting on those?
Complexity RSVP must have seen that happen and was just like, you know what, there is no way, and we do have an observer sitting right on that.
Yeah, he saw the healthy combination of a couple Hydras, a couple Roaches, and 7 Broodlords morphing in. Or 8, excuse me.
And that, of course, you know, with the Zerg on 4 base, you know, with that many gas at his disposal, he can easily afford to just, you know, continue making Broodlords, which at this point in the game, you know, very hard without any Void Rays already out for, you know, Complexity RSVP to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, he would need a pretty much maxed army, which he wasn't even halfway to being, not even close, of a healthy amount of Blink Stalkers and some other things to deal with the ground army, Colossus, whatever. And he'd have to really be able to blink and focus fire those down very quickly. But when there's that many of them, those broodlings really start to just add up, and before you know it, you can get surrounded and be in a world of trouble.
You certainly can, and I mean, we saw some exemplary play. Again, like I said, that you know, Spinecrawler Rush is specifically designed to punish, you know, fast expanding Protosses who do expand before getting a gateway. You know, of course, the proper response is to go, you know, gateway, core, Stargate, and get a Void Ray out, because that completely shuts down the whole push. But we did not see that from RSVP, did not correctly scout what was going on, and unfortunately paid for that mistake.
I really like that push. That's something I am not too familiar with seeing with. As you mentioned, I did believe, I don't remember who it was, but I saw it in the GSL one time, and I must say, it looks like it's like an easy thing to do, but that is probably not an easy thing to execute. It looks very, very, very tough, very high-level play right there, I think we just witnessed.
Having tried it, it is very technical to go ahead and do that correctly, and do it in such a way that you deny scouting to your Protoss opponent. You know, one of the times I have personally tried that build, my Protoss opponent scouted it and correctly just, you know, got a Void Ray and shut the whole thing down. Yeah,
now you could technically throw an Evo chamber down early with that push and get a Spore Crawler or 2 up. Would that repel?
That would be very interesting to see if that could fit in the build. You know, that Nestea did in the GSL was very, very finely tuned. Yeah. You know, he cut back on gas at exactly 100 or exactly 200 actually, and you know, basically just got a very fast layer after Zergling speed.
Yeah, that might be something for Zergs to keep in mind, and I'd like to see some development with that perhaps, because if you did that and got a Spore Crowd down, not only would you protect yourself from probably some Void Rays, you could definitely be counterattacked, which would hurt, but it also would prevent the rare tech case if perhaps the Protoss was already on his way, maybe to teching to Dark Templar, which is another answer I think that could kind of maybe deal with that.
Certainly, I mean, going DTs after the fast expand is going to delay your DTs pretty significantly.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if the DTs would come out soon enough. but definitely an interesting way to open up your game. You know, it's great to see new and creative play. That is definitely what advances this as an esport and as a game.
Absolutely, and I've seen White Raw do that quite often. It's like a delayed DT tactic where you kind of catch Zerg by surprise, thinking, well, if he was going DTs, he would have already gone them by now at this time of the game, and they would have already been on the map harassing me. And then all of a sudden, you think that you're safe, and then here they come. So you never know. But yeah, that was a really nice, you know, not so standard style of play. It was really fun to watch.
It certainly was. And I think that's going to wrap it up for us this evening. You know, having casted a couple of games from LzHstoRy, a couple of games from Fantasy, and then finishing up our games for Shinya. You know, we will continue to be casting for, you know, Team LZuruha. We're definitely excited to be, you know, partnered with them in this venture. So check us out on YouTube, of course, on LZuruha's site as well, LZuruha.com.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in, and definitely head over to LzRuha.com and check out the site. We'd love some feedback. We'd love for you guys to, you know, see how we're trying to grow as a team. So check it out.
This is Gwyn and Rohans signing off.
Peace.